What's up, everybody? I'm Kyle Carlson, and this is the Rollback BMX Podcast, the #1 BMX podcast in the universe, according to me. This week's guest is Ryan Mills. Ryan was a professional BMX rider. He was sponsored by the likes of Premium, Failure, Low Tech, Hell on Earth, Monster Energy, and many more, and unfortunately fell into a pretty nasty drug habit. Ryan was in and out of jail for a number of years and basically had to work his ass off to get clean and get his life back on track. You might already know Ryan's story, but he opens up about a lot of pretty deep things in here, and quite frankly, it's some pretty crazy shit. So listen up, here is the Rollback BMX Podcast with Ryan Mills. So we did that video for Vital BMX, where you were talking about all the crazy shit you've been through. And the most feedback I got from it, and I got quite a bit of feedback, people seem to really enjoy it, and I guess see that you're not dead. But a lot of guys said, like, wow, that was a really honest piece. And my response to that was, well, we cut a whole lot of shit out of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like here, we're not going to be restricted to trying to keep this as short as possible. And, you know, now you can tell a lot of terrible things.
Oh, man. It's a little scary.
Yeah, well, I mean, only as scary as you make it.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
100%. Just had the 2-year sober jam down at the Boulder City Skate Park. It's pretty cool.
So you just hit 2 years of sobriety.
Yep.
Define sobriety for you.
Well, not doing any drugs. Not drinking, not doing drugs. Still smoking cigarettes, but working on getting rid of that.
Good. That's probably a good thing, but I guess it's probably not quite as bad for you as heroin.
Yeah. Heroin is not good for you in any dosage.
So with 2 years, are you off probation now?
Nope, still on probation. A few more months to go. I think sometime in August I'll be off.
Now, is that when you can actually start leaving and going on trips and stuff?
Yeah, and that's the plan. As soon as I get off, road trips. So I'll be out there, boys. So
people should be really scared?
Yeah, be scared.
Be scared. There's a drug addict coming after you.
Yeah.
Former drug addict. I always think about that when there's like they have like the former drug addicts talk to students at school.
Yeah.
It's like, those people are scary.
Yeah, they're a little scary. I got a little bit of, I'm a little scary sometimes.
You got some of it in you still?
Yeah, I look pretty tough.
So do you subscribe to the thought that once you've been down the road you've been down, you're always privy to going back to it? Are you ever going to be fully over it? I see these guys that go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and they're like, I haven't had a beer in 8 years. And it's like, do you still need to go to the class, though?
Right.
Like,
well, most of them are lying anyway. But, yeah, dude, I mean, for me, it's a lot different. It's like, you know, if I had a job and I retired, I'm just over that job. I'm not gonna go back and get another job after I'm retired, because what the fuck's the point? You know, it's like, you know, you live that shitty lifestyle, and then once you get out of it, you see how positive things can be and how much easier life can be without that shit, and you have to be kind of nuts to go back.
So when you first got clean, you dived pretty quickly into having like a real 9-to-5 Monday to Friday job. And correct me if I'm wrong here. Your life was kind of college student, bike rider, drug addict, then job.
Yeah.
You never really had a 9-to-5 before, did you?
Not really, just like fast food jobs and
like when you were in high school.
Yeah, high school. Yeah.
So what was that like? I mean, because I don't think I could go to a 9-to-5 right now like you did, and I've, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I kind of had to do it because of probation. Otherwise, you have to do community service, and you have a curfew.
To be clear here, explain the drug court that you got. So basically, they put you under something where you had to piss clean regularly, like a couple times a week, and if you failed, you went to prison, correct?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I think they give you like one chance, and then after the second time, you're pretty screwed. So, but yeah, I had what is called a wobbler, which is a felony / misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor, and so if I completed drug court and completed probation, they knocked the felony down to a gross misdemeanor. So like, there's a lot riding on that. So if I did screw up, I'd be, you know, my job options in the future and all kinds of things like voting, everything. Like, I don't vote anyway, but
but it's good to know you can.
But yeah, just knowing I can, Yeah, it's just not good to have a felony on your record.
I had a roommate for a while that had a felony on his record, and it was kind of a big misunderstanding. Like, he wasn't a bad dude. This happened when he was like 18, 19. It was like a fight thing. And like, he couldn't get a job. It was a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, when we'd go to get a house, like, I don't think we could have his name on the lease. I think it was just me. He was fucked.
Yeah, you're pretty screwed. Your options are very limited. You get a job with a felony on your record, it's going to be like $10 an hour. And, I mean, that's Vegas money. So I think the minimum wage is like $8.75 or something.
Just a tad over minimum
yeah,
wage.
And then you're working really hard, like labor jobs, and it's not the business.
You're doing the jobs nobody wants to do. The jobs you go to school or you keep your nose clean so you don't have to do them.
Right, yeah. Like porta-potty cleaning and all that stuff.
Yeah. So as you sit right now, all signs are pointing to that being a misdemeanor on your record.
Yeah. As long as I continue doing what I'm doing, which is very easy because I'm just riding my bike right now, like every day, and not concerning myself with anything else really.
What are the charges for this gross misdemeanor? Is it a possession, or is it a stealing thing, or?
Well, I had a lot of possession charges, which kind of ended up being a good thing because they did give me drug court and this option to get it off my record. But I was real high at the Grand Casino one night, and I came up on a backpack. Like, I just found a backpack sitting there, and it had like a bunch of like iMac shit in it, like laptops and iPads.
Like, and somebody had forgotten it?
Yeah, someone forgot it.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, opportunity. I might come up on something. So I grabbed it and walked out, and it turned out to be like some politician in Reno. So like, it was a big deal. And they came full force at the house I was living at the time with like a helicopter and like 10 cars.
How do you think they knew it was you? Just tapes?
Yeah, okay, so I got a club card for the casino that night, and like handed my ID over and got it for like gambling.
Yep.
And they just zoomed right into my address, so came and got me. I still tried to run though. I jumped the fence, ran through the golf course, sprained my ankle, and then I had the guns drawn down on me. And I was just okay.
And that was this last one you got.
Yeah, that was the last one I got.
So what did they charge you? Do you have drugs on you when that happened?
I was able to like empty them all out when I was running, so
yeah.
they just got me on the merchandise stuff.
But I mean, they're not dumb. If you have possession shit
on
your record.
Yeah, they knew. I'm looking at me at the time, I was definitely a drug addict, you know. But it was kind of weird because I sprained my ankle. They ended up taking me to the hospital and taking my clothes as evidence. And after the doctor checked me out for my ankle, they put me out on the street in my underwear and had me walk home with a sprained ankle.
Wow.
Yeah, like, so I didn't even go to jail that time. And then I didn't go to court. I had a warrant for my arrest and was in Walmart one day and saw some cops and had meth on the brain, so I thought they were after me. And I took off running, and they chased me down and found out I had a warrant. And they took me in, and that was the last day I got high. May 25th, 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. So It was literally just paranoia.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, actually, I got arrested one more time after that. After they released me, I was on they gave me house arrest, in which you wear an ankle bracelet and they monitor where you are at all times.
Do they control where you live when you do that? Or can you live wherever?
You give an address and they go and check it out and make sure it's all right. And so they did that. But I didn't have anyone to go at the time. Like, I still really wasn't talking to my family, didn't have any other friends but drug addict friends. And the one person I knew that had a like constant residence, she said, okay, yeah, you can come here. I won't have any drugs here at the house, blah, blah, blah.
But she was a chick that was down with drugs.
Yeah, she was getting high the whole time.
Okay.
She's like, oh, we won't have any traffic coming through. That was a lie. There was like 7 people a day coming through getting high, like right in front of me while I'm trying to be sober.
On heroin and shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so my ex-girlfriend, she came over because she was like homeless at the time. And I mean, she was like a really rich girl, but she lost everything to drugs too. So,
of course.
So she was living basically out of her car. And so I was just like, okay, yeah, we're still kind of dating. And So she came to live with me like for a week.
At the drug house?
Yeah, at the drug house. And I was, and then the probation officers, they do random checks on the house. So she was getting high. I was taking a nap, and the cops came to check me out. And this is a week after I got out. And they found like needles and heroin on her. And one of my stipulations for being out on house arrest is not to be around people that have felonies, people that do drugs. So they found that, and they're like, "Man, we just told you, dude. Like, you can't be around this shit. It's a breaking the rule." So they remanded me for 3 weeks for her having drugs on her.
They arrest her also.
Yeah, she went to jail too. She got out before me, like a couple of days later. You know, I got stuck in there for 3 weeks, and I went back to court, and they offered me house arrest again, as long as I went to a sober living house.
So that's something they would assign you to.
Yeah. So they're like, can you afford to pay rent, or do you have to go to this place where they give you a grant? It's just like kind of like jail again, but like just a bunch of people on house arrest that can't afford rent. And I was lucky enough to have my dad be there in court and be like, yeah, he stood up and was like, yeah, he can pay for rent. So I got out a little faster, because you have to wait for a bed at the other place.
Gotcha. Your dad totally saved your ass.
Yeah, he saved my ass big time. Paid my rent. I got out, and I was determined not to go around those places again, where I was house arresting, and just get my classes done. And it was like a 2-hour bus ride every day I had to take to go do piss tests and counseling for like 3 hours a day.
Man, for those who don't know, this is in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I grew up here. You've pretty much lived here your whole life. Public transportation here is shit.
It's the worst.
So, like, if you don't have a car or able to drive, like, so you spend 2 hours on the bus. That's probably the equivalent of what you could have done in 10, 15 minutes in a car, right?
Yeah. And it was super hard at first, like not having a job and trying to get these classes on time. You can't be a minute late or they lock the door, and you go do community service or whatever if you miss a class. So I had to make sure I'd get there like an hour early on top of everything. So it'd be like 2-hour bus ride, be there an hour early, do 3 hours of classes, 2-hour bus ride back, and then by the time I got home, call and check in with the house arrest officer. And
so while all this is going on, even if you were allowed to, you couldn't have had a job essentially, because time is taken.
They kind of like tell you not to get a job the first 90 days because it's so intense. Like it's super intensive, like supervision, everything. Like the outpatient class, which I was going to, is called Choices. They're just like, yeah, you won't have time for anything else but this right now. Just work on yourself and staying sober and learning the tools to stay sober. And like they kind of give you some like information and describe your triggers and all this shit, like, which I already kind of had a handle on. I already decided in my head I was done.
I would imagine, knowing you as long as I have, that you were smarter than a lot of people that were in these situations.
I think I was probably the only college graduate in this classes.
Yeah.
So it was very immature scene there.
Yeah.
So it was tough to...
Well, I mean, you graduated college. You've done some international traveling.
Yeah.
You know, your family's smart, successful people. So I think you had a good head on your shoulders for as good as it can be while you're fucked up on heroin.
Yeah. And I mean, these classes were so repetitive, and, you know, I catch on real quick. So like I would hear it the first time and be like, okay, it's in my head. So I know that. And then just get repeated, hearing the stories of people over and over again, and like just making you dread go to these classes every day. And then my buddy Nathan offered me, said, oh, there's a job place in my work, or opening in my work, so you can come down and work for me. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that. And I was still in like the intensive part, so like I had a couple weeks left of going to work, and then my dad gave me a truck to drive around.
Is that the truck you're still driving?
Yeah, I'm still driving it.
Nice.
But he gave me that to drive around, so it was a lot easier to get around. So I'd be going to work, leaving for 2 hours, going to the 3 hours and going to counseling, coming back to work for a couple hours, and then going home. And also going to like NA meetings, which they made you go to
Is
as
that
well.
Narcotics Anonymous?
Yeah, Narcotics Anonymous, or anything, AA, NA, HA, CMA, crystal meth, heroin, all that shit. Like that's what those all stand for. But it's just like, it's kind of crazy that they make you do all that, because it's just a reminder, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you're a drug addict, you're a drug addict, you're a drug addict. Relapses happen. In my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking relapse. Like, yeah, this is. Don't tell me relapses happen, or I'm gonna go fucking relapse and be like, oh, it's part of the program. You know, it's like, I wanted to get done with that shit as fast as possible.
In your time with the arrests and jail and all the drug classes and stuff, did you ever really encounter like any police or anybody in positions of authority that you felt like wanted people to get better?
Yeah, the dude that remanded me, like he was actually a legitimate dude, and
That's cool.
If you were doing good, not breaking his rules, he would get, you know, easier on you, and just be like super supportive. You show him all the shit you're doing. Like I was doing like little interviews for BMX stuff, like the TJ Lavin's Hanging with Labs or whatever, YouTube thing. And I was showing him that stuff, and he was like, okay, so this guy actually wants to be sober. Like most of the people are just faking it, and
they want to get done with the class.
They're waiting to get done so they can go get high again, and not being, but most of them actually just go get high again and go to jail or prison and finish out their time. That was not on my list.
But I mean, for a long time it was, though, right? You got busted numerous times, and you got back, went to jail, got locked up, and as soon as you got out, you were high, right?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that I didn't get drug court sooner, because it kind of pushed me and held me to be accountable and all this. But to tell you the truth, I wasn't even ready until this last time for something like drug court.
Do you think it's the type of thing, I know it sounds cliche, but you can't be helped until you want to be helped type of thing?
Sorta, yeah. It's cliche, but it's sort of true. You got to get to your breaking point. I was at my breaking point several times and would just not know anything else. You know, this time around, I was like, I got to get on a bike.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have no other interest to do. Like, and I'm just gonna be thinking about doing drugs. So I was lucky enough to get a bike with Scott Papiro and Pete Demos at Premium. They hooked me up with the bike, and then I fell back in line with all my old friends riding bikes and all the old men that we ride now together every weekend. But if it wasn't for them, man, like I might not be sitting right here right now. That's for sure. Well,
it seems like most of the friends you've had in your life have been BMX friends or drug friends.
Right. Yeah.
There isn't really any other genre. So.
Yeah. And some of the BMX friends were drug friends as well, and they're still in it, and it's horrible. And I wish I could pull them out with me, but they got to get to their breaking point. Yeah. So, you know, it's on them.
So, Premium hooked you up with some stuff. I know Fiend hooked you up with some stuff.
Yeah.
And Rich Hirsch gave you a Stranger Frame recently.
Yeah.
So would you say for all the kids out there that want to get sponsored, it's a good move to get hooked on heroin and then get off of it?
Well, you know, I was sponsored before that, so I don't think it's a good move. I think for a while there, I thought I was like the cool shit. Like, oh, I'm on all these drugs and still riding pro. Like, nothing can stop me. And I found out real quick, it stops. Like, I quit riding completely. I didn't even think about it for years. And
you know, towards those last couple of years as well, your riding definitely declined. You know,
for sure. Yeah, it was struggling at the end.
It was, yeah. I could definitely notice and I didn't know if it was the drugs because I don't understand that stuff very well. If it was just you're getting a little bit older, maybe your heart's not in it.
Yeah.
Maybe injuries catch up. I mean, a lot of things can play roles, but you definitely the last couple things that you and I shot while you were fucked up, but not all the way off the deep end. I don't think you were riding as good as you're riding right now.
Right. Yeah, dude. You know? And it's coming back quick. It's awesome. But I agree. I started to see bike riding differently with a fucked up brain on drugs. You know, I'm just like, man, this just kind of whack. What am I doing tricks downstairs and like it's like little kid shit? And I started thinking like that, and I wish I never did because it's like the best thing in the world. Like, I'll do fucking tricks all day now and just be so psyched to pull something.
Yeah, there's little kid shit is a good thing.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, dude, no worries. Never grow up. Trust me. Never ride bikes as long as you can. And like a lot of the people that I was riding with at a pro level with them that are still riding at a pro level, like Corey Martinez and all those dudes, dude, big time respect for them sticking it out and like killing it still. It's awesome to see like my old friends like Chase D Hart killing it, Chase Hogg, everyone's still in that shit and like doing so good.
Yeah, no, it's impressive, you know, when you can prolong the BMX career for such a long period. It's not really meant to last more than a few years.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know,
these
so
guys,
you got to be a real.
These guys been doing pro level shit for 15 years, like even longer.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, it's hard to stay relevant, especially now with like the internet and like kids just picking it up so fast and doing the craziest shit. Like, it's hard to stay relevant.
I think there's so much more content out there, so kids can kind of see.
Well, they see it's all possible. Yeah, and they're just like, oh, okay. That person just did that trick. They don't see like the work it took to do that trick, and they think it's like, oh, I should just be able to get on and do that, and then it kind of works like that for them, and they're just so dialed in. That dude Logan Martin, dude. Yeah, I was watching some videos of him. He just, you know, trick after trick, just like pedal tail to pedals like all the time.
He's Mr. Go to the gym and stuff too. Mr.
Yeah, that's all right though.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, like I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do whatever the hell you
it's
want,
cool. But you know, I'd rather watch street riding any day.
Yeah.
Than like a contest. But I've always kind of been like that. I used to go to contests, but I wasn't really like into it. You know.
Well, contests are a cool excuse to see people.
Yeah,
places,
and it kind of gets you get to meet a lot of people and. Which is pretty important in BMX.
and kind of since you've hit your downfall, you know, there are more contests I think you'd be more at home at, you know, things like some of the Vans events at concrete parks. I know you've always ridden concrete parks, and even like Simple Session in Estonia has a lot of street-based obstacles. I mean, I definitely think if you can make it happen financially, it'd be cool to get out to a couple of those in the next year here.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Anything that has a crazy little like course, you know, like interesting stuff that's not normal, that should always produces cool shit.
It's tough because there's so few events in the United States versus like there's a lot of cool shit in Europe.
Yeah,
but Europe's far.
Yeah.
But so when you first kind of got hooked on drugs, how did you know at first like it was a problem? 'Cause you had a wrist injury from riding,
right? Doctor
gives you Percocets or something, or
Percocets or Roxycodone or something like that, like Lortabs.
Just enjoyed it.
Any of those, they're all the same.
Is it?
Much, yeah.
Started enjoying it a little bit too much.
Yeah, just like, oh, this feels nice, and I'm not in pain, and So I started using my injuries as excuses, like just play it off big time, like, oh man, my fucking knee's hurting, I gotta take another pill. You know.
Did you ever kind of see what was happening? Or was it all kind of just...
No, I didn't see it happening. It kind of blindsided me when I was living in Portland. And
were you on pills when you were living in Portland?
Yeah, and...
Because when you lived in Portland, you were still riding pretty seriously. And,
yeah, I was... I mean, it took a while for the drugs to take over. Like, I was still, you know, I was smoking a lot of weed and doing that shit. But, like...
I don't think that's quite as bad for you as the fucking pain pills.
The pills are much worse, but... Like, I ran out of my prescription when I was in Portland, and I was laying in bed. I was like, damn, dude, I feel sick. I feel super sick right now. And I popped a pill, and I was just like, oh, that's what withdrawing is. Like, you feel sick. You feel like you have the fucking flu, and then this pill takes it away. So that right there, I was just like, okay, I'm addicted. And the only way to keep that sickness away is to pop another pill. So I got to go get more pills. I got to find pills. So, like... Yeah, that became my main goal.
So were you buying pills on the street in Portland?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I was less on the. I mean, I had pills every day, probably in Portland, at least 2 a day, which wasn't a very bad habit then.
Yeah.
Because when I moved back to Vegas and I'd gone to jail in Portland, and life kind of came crumbling down on me quickly. I moved back.
What did you get arrested for in Portland?
It was like a domestic dispute. It was kind of a misunderstanding.
Okay.
But
because that all got like dropped. That had nothing to do with any of the other shit, right?
Yeah, no, that was totally different. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I got back here and I was starting to take more and more pills, and then just being sicker quicker without having them, and trying to find any fucking way to get money to like my entire checks were going from Monster and any bike riding company were going straight to just drugs. Yeah. And I was still going to school, getting help from my parents, which that ended up getting cut off pretty quick too after they found out I was addicted,
Yeah.
But so then it became any way to get money. So I was going out and shoplifting on the daily, and started riding a lot less because that shit took up most of my time.
I mean, looking back on it, like, do you miss any of it? Like that kind of living like the pirate's life on the street, stealing, just kind of
dude, but it's a major adrenaline rush to do that shit. And that,
I mean,
kicking stealing was just as hard as kicking drugs.
You see like celebrities get busted for stealing and stuff.
Yeah, it's a bad habit. People have to go through rehab to get rid of that shit. And it's like the drug court thing kind of touched base on that too. And I had to go to a separate class in that drug court thing just for stealing, to kind of recognize my triggers for that too.
That's crazy. Do you miss any of the drugs, or was it really just you were never enjoying being high and it was honestly just to fight withdrawals?
I enjoyed it, I'm not gonna lie, but most of the time,
I mean, there's a reason people do them.
It was to be not sick. Like most of the time, you wake up every day feeling, if you don't have a stash left over from the day before, you're in trouble, dude. And so it's no fucking fun at all.
When you finally quit, did you just do it cold turkey?
Yeah, well, I had to. I had no, I was high the day I got arrested, and only had a little bit, so that's why I went out to Walmart to go take some shit, and ended up seeing that cop and getting crazy, and so they throw you in jail, and I was on the floor in the main room where they pull you in. You gotta stay there until you get placed into a bed. I just kicked on that cement floor for a couple of days, and it's like the worst feeling ever, eating that shit food and dealing with shit people while you're in there.
While you're withdrawing,
yeah. It took me a good month to even fucking walk straight.
Is there a better way to get off it? Can they wean you off? Can they give you small doses? Or
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of programs where they'll give you Suboxone, which is it tricks your brain into thinking that you're getting high, and it also blocks any heroin use. So like if you take a Suboxone and you use heroin, you're not going to feel that high.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow,
so,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, people can go that route. I had to go cold turkey, and I think I kind of see like the Suboxone route. People are like, oh, I can do this again because that wasn't painful, so they go out and get high again. Yeah. So I just need the most pain.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you learned a lesson. Tricking your body's a weird one.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing there's got to be some people that just doesn't work for also. I've heard about, is it Chantix, the cigarettes one?
Yeah.
I've heard some people be like, it changed my life, and some people be like, it didn't do a
that
goddamn
shit gave me
thing.
nightmares and I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Made me smoke more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I went to the methadone clinic, which is like a legal heroin thing. Like it's controlled and government issued heroin, kind of. And I was going to that clinic for a little bit, and it's super expensive and cash only. So like if you want to get off and you have money, you're most likely going to go buy heroin before you go to a methadone clinic.
It's more expensive than heroin.
You got to go super early in the morning. You got to go jump through some hoops to get there. And when I did it, I never got off of heroin. Like I was just doing methadone and heroin at the same time. Yeah, so it didn't help me at all.
That's weird, man. Do you think a lot of the people like that, like I'm assuming a lot of the people that you knew from the drug times are still in there?
Most of them are. Some of them are dead.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in prison. There's a lot of drugs in prison too.
Have you seen anybody else kind of get out of it, or are you kind of the lone wolf here?
I've seen, there's a few people that are out of it. I mean, I don't check the facts though. I don't know if they're actually getting high and
pretty much
faking
cut everybody off though.
I pretty much did. I know of a few people that have had like babies and have gotten off of it for that, or like, just been just over it like me. But it's pretty hard to do when you don't have anything else going for you.
One thing, I don't know if you remember any of this, but I heard from a couple different people. I remember Dennis Anderson and a couple others were like, I was in Vegas and we saw some fucked up dude and we made a joke like, that's Ryan Mills, and it was. Do you remember any of that?
I totally remember that. They were in a van at a gas station and I was walking by, or maybe I was on like a road bike or something that I probably stole. Yeah, dude, that was crazy. I was living in an office at the time, and I think Corey Martinez was in the van too, or Seth Kimbrough, one of them.
Probably Corey. I think it was a cinema market trip.
Yeah, those two are interchangeable anyway. But yeah, dude, that was pretty nuts. They were like, "Oh yeah, Bizarro Ryan." I looked over and I saw bike stickers on the van. I walked up and I seen my old homies. I was like, "Oh, what's up?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll go meet up with you at UNLV," and then I ended up going to get drugs or something. But yeah, that was fucking hilarious, actually.
Somebody had a story once about they were staying at somebody's house in town, and it was by the college or something, and you showed up to borrow somebody's bike bag so you could take it to the college to steal computers and put in it or something. I don't know if you remember this one.
No comment.
What's the statute of limitations on this shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm not past it. I know that. So
yeah.
Keep that on the
Did I say steal computers? I meant...
Yeah, what school were you talking about?
Yeah. Did I say college? I meant community college.
Yeah.
When that first video came out and whatnot, I guess there was a long time period before then, but have a lot of guys kind of reached out to you? Anybody notable from the BMX world?
Dude, so many people. And since that little Vital video we did, I've had a lot of people hit me up on like Facebook direct message or whatever, Instagram direct message saying, like, yo, I've been through this too, and you can do it, or like, I'm going through this right now. How do I stop? Like, so I try and answer like all that shit like right away and try and inspire people to get off this shit, because if I can use my time in this and getting out of it to inspire people, I'm going to. Like, it feels super good to be able to put back in, help people, especially since I had so much help getting out of it.
It's so crazy because I think back to, and I know a lot's changed in the world, but I think back to when I was in middle school and elementary school and they did the drug education and stuff. It wasn't about pills, but I guess it's kind of a newer problem.
Oh, dude, it's the hugest problem.
Like, are they teaching this in schools, do you think?
I don't know. I hope so, but they need to if they don't. I'm always kind of like weird about that though, because like obviously you need awareness of this stuff like as you're younger, but it also introduces you to it, like the DARE program and all that. Like yo, this is what this is. Like I didn't know any of that shit until I had DARE.
Especially when you're at an age where you don't like authority.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever like the Dave Chappelle skit when he's like the crackhead and he's talking to the students and he's talking about, I can't remember what he's saying. He's like, oh, I did this crack, and then all my favorite cartoon characters came to life.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, super cool. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I mean, what do you think? What can you do? I mean, you ride bikes. I know you're a busy guy. You're raising a kid. Like, I know you don't exactly have a ton of free time, but is there anything individually you can do to kind of help? At least, it sucks you can't help everybody, but at least throughout like the BMX community, action sports community, it would be awesome to do something or have something in place.
Yeah. Shout out to Chelina for the baby too. Yeah, let's see. Since that Vital video, this company called Fend Movement hit me up, and I think it's wearefend.org if you want to go check it out. They have like an app you can download. It's like an opiate awareness thing, and they're doing stuff with like underground rappers and sports dudes, kind of.
I can't think of anything less cool than being an anti-drug underground rapper.
Yeah, well, it works better for, I think, extreme sports.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Because the rappers just push drugs. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tougher job.
So they're just about opiate education? Yeah,
kind of. And it's kind of cool because it works hand in hand with what I was already doing. And they were like, oh, yeah, could you be like a spokesperson and maybe have some sort of direction in the future of our company? And I'm just like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So hopefully something works out with that. And
now, the people behind that are medical people, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not just a couple random weird addicts, former addicts.
Yeah, it's people that actually see what's going on. They want to change it, and they're doing Vans Warp Tour, their last tour ever, I guess. They're sponsoring.
They're not going to do a Warp Tour anymore?
Yeah, they're done with the Warp Tour. Yeah. So this is
okay.
Yeah, I think they're having a Warp show maybe in California, maybe like once a year.
Oh, really?
I don't know. George Bugby told me that. I don't know. George would know. But yeah, so I mean, they'll get a lot of exposure from that. I know they're not very big yet, but they have potential to be big.
I mean, you see all these crazy, like, I don't know where the money's coming from. It's probably coming from cigarette sales, but all the anti-smoking advertisements and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, man, we need some of that on pills and shit, man.
I think that kind of is their goal, which is really important because it's a huge epidemic. There's so many deaths like every day from pill overdose.
Did you ever overdose?
Yeah, I had a few close calls, man. Like
could have died.
Yeah, like died and woke up myself somehow, Yeah. Like just blue lips and like feeling like I just got off a ship after a month trying to walk,
That's
just
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a gnarly feeling.
And then you just started doing drugs again?
Yep. Hours later. But yeah, it's scary. That OD shit is no joke. You don't always die when you OD.
Did you have to deal with any dead people? Were you ever doing drugs with people and they died while you were there?
Very close calls. This girl overdosed twice at my apartment, 2 different occasions, and we managed to get her back to life both times.
Like CPR and shit, or
what? Like throw her in the cold shower and do everything you can. She was out for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And like those 2 times were super scary. Just kicked everyone out of my house right after the fact. And then like a few months later, dude, she OD'd not at my house and no one there to help her, and she died.
Oh, so she's dead now.
She's gone. Yeah.
I guess you don't want to OD more than once or ever.
Yeah, you probably even know who it is, but I'm not gonna say. But
really?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah.
So when you went off on your crazy drug binge, you're kind of off the map for 7 or 8 years or whatever, and you come back and you're into the BMX life. What is that like? Because I mean, you kind of have this image of BMX in your head. Certain riders are popular, bikes look a certain way, there's these certain events, and so much has changed in that time period.
Yeah, I jumped into a fucking time machine. It's crazy.
What's it like?
It's all different, but
what was the weirdest
cool
shit for you?
It's just like the level, dude, of people's riding, how much the sport's progressed is insane. And then like I wasn't like grasping like these little edits online, and I was just like, where's the fucking DVDs? Where's the magazines? Like where is everything? Nothing's here. How do people even get exposure? And Brad Sims was like, oh yeah, man, it's all about Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. So he has like 1 trillion followers or something. I was like, wow, yeah, he's a beast. I have like 1,000.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about like bike setups? Because I mean, I guess bars had to be small last time you rode.
Oh yeah, dude. The bikes. People have been putting in work with the geometry, man. They've been figuring it out because it feels so much better than it did.
It wasn't weird for you to hop on one of these modern bikes with big bars?
Dude, it felt natural. Like,
really?
Yeah, super natural. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this feels like I didn't have to take time to get used to it. It was just like jumped on it. I was like, oh, back to where I was.
Yeah. Are there some things you have done on your bike in the past that you feel like you can't really do right now? Any tricks or any
inverts?
Yeah,
they got me. I'm trying to get them back. Backflips. Well, I probably won't ever touch those again.
Nah.
Yeah.
Even like go to Woodward, hit the. No.
Maybe. I don't know. I need health insurance first.
Yeah.
Gotta be a little smarter these days.
Isn't it? Don't you have to have it legally?
Shh. I don't know. Donald Trump.
How's the? I know since you got back, you broke your wrist, correct?
Yeah.
Was that hard for you to break your wrist and stay away from painkillers?
A little bit, yeah. This would have been a perfect excuse to do them,
Would they? They would have prescribed them to you, wouldn't they have?
Yeah, I had to deny them.
Would they have? They don't look into your past or anything. They just offer them up.
No, I just. Yeah, they offer it up. I'm like, yo, I'm in drug court. I can't touch that. And I broke my wrist twice since I've come back, and it's been 2 years.
Wow, 2 different occasions?
Yeah.
Is it the same wrist you had problems with before?
Yeah, same
so
wrist.
So is it just super weak?
Now, I was just riding yesterday and kept buckling out. But it's still, I had surgery in, I think, late October. And it's almost October again.
Did they put a pin in there?
Yeah, I put 7 screws and a plate. So
that should make it stronger, though, right?
You'd think so.
So hopefully it won't.
They were supposed to take it out, but I lost my health insurance and didn't go back to the doctor.
Oh, really?
And so I think these like screws are like ripping my muscles apart while I'm riding.
Yeah, you should probably figure that out.
It's super sensitive still.
Probably figure that out and go get that checked out. That's
yeah.
I was talking to Logan Martin, and he had a bad collarbone injury recently, and they put a gnarly plate in there, and he's like, they told him like, well, it's stronger than it ever was before.
Yeah.
Like, you can go ride in like 2 days when you're not sore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not going to break it. It's not going to be any stronger or weaker in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just ride tomorrow.
I mean, I would imagine metal's stronger than bone, but I mean, I would imagine it could get bent too or break. So
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Generally tend to trust doctors, but I guess they're the same people that give you drugs, right?
Doctors are almost untrustable, but yeah, they're just going off opinion. They don't know what's going on.
Did you get a lot of prescriptions for drugs, or were you pretty much buying them on the street? I know you had your initial prescription.
At first, I was at a pain management place because my orthopedic doctor was like, damn, your demand for drugs is just too high right now. I'm going to put you in this pain management guy, and he'll write you scripts. It's kind of, they just push it off onto the next doctor.
As a pain management doctor, a doctor that literally just gives you pain pills?
Yeah. You go in with all your like x-rays and stuff, and you rate yourself of how much pain you're in. They have no idea, you know. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm in pain, you know. Like, keep up in my dose and up in the amount. And then towards the end of that, I was kind of like selling the pills because I found out how much they go for on the street.
You can sell them for like 10 or 20 bucks a pill or something, right?
So and that's one pill compared to 20 bucks in heroin. You can last all day with 20 bucks in heroin. One pill will last you like 6 hours, you know. So like, I was getting 4 times the high for one pill on the street.
Do you think a lot of people kind of go down that same route when they first start getting hooked?
Yeah, and then there's a lot of people that go to these doctors that just write scripts, and I heard of a million doctors that will just take $100 and give you whatever you want.
Under the table.
Yeah, it's crazy. They get busted all the time, but they come back somehow.
Was it hard or a big deal for you the first time you did heroin? It wasn't a pill, it wasn't a prescribed pill, it was a dirty street drug. Was that you know what I mean, like a monumental turn, or is that just kind of a natural, like, oh, same shit?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I had gone straight to shooting it, yeah, it would have been kind of crazy.
Yeah. Even
like going, because I started smoking it on tinfoil, and going from tinfoil to shooting it, the first time I did that was kind of scary. I was like, how much do I do? What do I do? I just kind of stole a needle from a doctor's office and just went for it, and I think I missed my vein, you know. But
yeah,
it's a little scary though, but financially it makes more sense. So yeah. What do you think about I know Portugal and I think a few other countries have kind of decriminalized drugs. Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that's a bad thing? I think it can go two ways.
Yeah.
Where drugs are right now in America, I think it could be a bad thing. Like, people are like, oh, sweet, it's legal, let's go crazy. I mean, you see, like, weed became legal in Nevada, and it's just all over the place now. Like, everyone smokes weed.
Do you think more people are smoking now that it's legal?
I think so. Yeah, more. You know, my dad has back problems, and he got an edible the other day. Try it out.
Yeah,
he didn't like it, but he's never done weed in his life.
He's a 70-year-old.
Yeah, 75 years old.
Yeah.
And he's so I mean, he would probably never try that if it wasn't legal.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining, like, he
mirrors a lot of human beings.
Right. If they made heroin legal, it would be just as bad as the pills. Pills are legal technically. I mean, as long as you have a script, you can have them. So, I mean, it's like the hugest problem in America right now.
I think you had brought up a potential idea of kind of requiring doctors to have a middleman, like, who's not invested in anything.
They had someone to regulate that, like, and to, like, kind of watch the doctor, not so much the patient, see what they're doing, like that. I think that could be big. Yeah,
I feel like these doctors, especially with their knowledge, should know from a while away that, like, this guy's getting hooked.
Well, they definitely know, though, and they definitely know, like, Big Pharma knows, like, they're gonna make more money the more people that are addicted. So it's just a powerhouse, and they have all the money in the world, so they can beat any case in court, and they can do anything they want. So yeah.
Looking back over your BMX career, if you will, what are a couple of the highlights from before you went down the dark path?
Definitely all the traveling. I love traveling. I guess, like, every like video part was very satisfying to me. Very, it was awesome.
The one Walter filmed was probably my favorite, and I think I was looking for it online recently and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Does that still exist anywhere? Do you know?
Well, I own a copy, but I don't know how to put things online. So, yeah, and like most of my video parts aren't really available online actually.
Yeah,
maybe I'll give you them, post them on Vital.
Yeah, let me know. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I was kind of disappointed I couldn't find more stuff on there.
Yeah. Another thing that's kind of unique is like my relationship status with like a girl that I met in counseling, and drug counseling.
Yeah.
And I feel like
so she was hooked as well.
She was on drugs as well, and I think it's kind of cool to be able to date someone that knows that life, and we can like help hold each other accountable and feed off each other. So that's another aspect that helps me out a lot.
But at the same time, do you think that could work negatively for some people?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so now you have a new friend to do drugs with.
Yeah, definitely. As long as you're strong, you can get through it. But
yeah,
I mean, there's always slip ups.
Was she in as bad of a spot as you were?
I was pretty fucking deep. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for hers. I didn't see hers, but she was definitely on drugs. So, I mean, anyone on drugs getting off and staying sober, it's a big deal. Doesn't matter how deep you're in.
Do people use heroin recreationally? Like, I'm going to use it once. I got drunk last night and did heroin.
Yeah, dude, I know some people that somehow don't get the withdrawals. Like, they can just pick it up and put it down whenever they want.
Do you feel like you or a lot of people get withdrawals? Like, I did it once and I get withdrawals. Like, it's that gnarly.
You probably got to do it a few days.
Yeah.
To really feel it, but that can happen real quick. Like, before you even know it, you don't even realize it's been a few days. It's like, oh, that was all one day, but no, you've been doing heroin for a week.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you don't have it, and you're at my house begging me for more. So.
Yeah. How far into your issues did you kind of lose your relationship with your family?
I was definitely a full-blown addict by the time. They still tried to support me and tried to help me and get me into therapy and stuff like that, and I was just not having that at the time. So I kind of cut myself off from them because I could see it was killing them.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, all right, it's just all on me now, so I gotta figure this out.
How long did you go without actually speaking to him?
Pretty long. like
a year?
Probably more than that. I mean, occasional phone call here and there.
Yeah.
Occasionally they'd be in town and I'd go see them for like a couple hours and then have to be back trying to find my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah, they knew.
So they had to suck really bad for them.
Yeah. I feel horrible for having put them through that, but they're very proud of me now, and I wouldn't be who I am now without it.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot, and hopefully I can use it for good.
Well, it sounds like them stepping up and paying rent when that was an option and whatnot. It sounds like without them, you might be in a way worse situation right now, even if you were able to quit.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a lot harder. They made it a lot easier on me. I'm so blessed to have them as my family. And I like proving to them that I am sober.
Yeah.
And like, I've been trying to help out a lot with them.
You're kind of working for your dad right now, right?
Yeah. We're flipping apartments. Like, well, he already owns them all, but like we just go in and fix them up, and then he's trying to sell them all off right now. But so I've been, anytime he asks me for anything, I'm just like, yeah, I'm there.
Well, and I mean, all those skills, those are good skills to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's always going to be relevance in flipping properties.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things that a robot's going to start doing.
If I can learn the craft, then I could be in good shape.
He's been doing that for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully ride his coattails for a bit.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that more than the 9 to 5 you had?
I've always been a person that didn't want a job ever.
Yeah, I think that's most people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was making it happen for a while too, but that last year of working the 9 to 5 was brutal on me. I needed a little mental break. So I'm lucky to have my dad there to help out, and he helps me out with rent. And
that's cool.
Yeah, so.
Not bad that you're, how old are you?
33.
33?
How old are you?
31.
We're old.
Yeah, it's not cool. I get 2-day hangovers now when I go drinking.
Yeah.
You don't drink at all, do you?
No.
I mean, you drank a little bit before.
Yeah, I used to like the hard liquor, but I wasn't a beer drinker very much.
But how did you just don't have a desire to do that anymore? You just don't want to be impaired at all, or what? Because you never had alcohol dependency issues, did you?
No, and I probably could have.
Yeah.
But I switched it all over to the hard stuff, so I didn't really drink when I was doing all the other shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just being 100% clean, minus nicotine and caffeine. It's I got a roll going. Like I don't want to. I'm just like collecting days, like see how long I can go without having any sort of impaired judgment.
I mean, if you don't want to do it, that's awesome.
It's so easy not to want to do it, and it's so much easier every day.
Do you have something you can do? Because like, especially when you were working like the 9 to 5 or go work with your dad for a day, like every once in a while I'll have a day when I work my ass off, I'm on my feet all day doing stuff, and it's wonderful to just sit down and have a beer. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I always joke that there's like maybe 4 or 5 days a year I actually earn a beer where I end up drinking 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Not quite that much, but I drink too much. But like, do you have an escape? Like, oh fuck, it's been a long day. It'll be nice to do this.
Coitus, I guess. I mean, that's all you really. There's a little high in that. So
yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Beer, really having like sitting down and having a beer was never really my thing.
Yeah, probably a good thing.
I like waking up and having me a coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you drink coffee all day long?
Sometimes.
I kind of do that.
Today I did that.
I'm more of like a 1 or 2 p.m. coffee drinker than a morning coffee drinker.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm an 8 p.m. coffee drinker. Last night I was.
Were you?
Yeah.
Did you just not sleep?
I went to Jack's show. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Then we went spot hunting with George Bugby.
How do you feel being as old as you are and being out till 3 a.m. spot hunting?
Dude, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Felt young again.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're only as old as you think you are.
Yeah. What are you psyched on riding right now? What kind of shit like gets your
I always love finding street spots and getting a clip or two on it. Like,
yeah.
It's like, because I mean, it's all your creation.
Are you at any risk when you're out riding the street of going to jail? Like if they run your
yeah
ID?
Yeah, if they, I mean, yeah, it's what's it called? When you break stuff.
Vandalism?
Yeah. That's what street riding kind of is.
But I mean, even though none of your crimes have anything to do with that, would they look at like, could this mess with your probation?
Yeah, it could. Depends on the cop.
If they weren't a total asshole, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Having my job as long as I did, they took my curfew away, and now that I'm on a lower restrictive supervision, I told them I quit my job. I'm working with my dad. I didn't get my curfew back. So
nice.
Yeah, and so that would have been an issue.
What time was your curfew when you did have one?
9:00 till 6 in. I couldn't leave the house. So
couldn't go for a 5 a.m. jog.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, so having that job kind of helped because I had to be there sometimes at 4 a.m. and so I told the officer, I have to leave my house, and I have 2 hours of getting there.
I have to leave your house at 3.
I have to go to work.
2 or 3.
How? Yeah, it's like, all right, we'll take curfew off. It's like, sweet,
nice.
So, yeah.
So you think that you're good with all that then?
Dude, I'm so good.
Yeah.
I'm not going back. You won't catch me relapsing.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had any run-ins with cops street riding?
Not really. Not to where they ran my name. Just like, get the hell out of here.
Kind of the standard.
Like when we're in the ditch.
Oh yeah, that did
like
happen.
He just rolled by and he's just like, leave. Like, I'm just like, oh, yep, I'm out.
But you didn't. You got like 3 more runs in.
Yeah.
Got to clip, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sucker.
Yeah, douche. But yeah, I haven't really had any run-ins. After the jam, the cops kicked us out.
Just because you were there too late?
Yeah, because they closed at 10 at the skate park in Boulder.
Were they dicks about it, or were they cool?
No, they just blasted us with the lights and the horn. They're like, get the hell out of the park.
They probably roll up expecting a bunch of children. There's a bunch of 40-year-old men.
Yeah. So we just kind of moved the party to Braxton's house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What's next on your agenda as far as when this when your probation's done? I know you want to hit the road. Where are you going?
I'm gonna start off with some short trips down
Yeah.
to LA, San Diego. Come crash on your floor without your permission.
Yeah.
And probably hit up Salt Lake, go see all those dudes up
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
And then once my buddies get some time off of work, maybe do a further one.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get the whole crew back together.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
reunion party.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll give you one final question here. It's very important. Who is your favorite bike rider of all time?
That's too hard, man.
You got to name one. If you don't name one, it's Mike Spinner by default.
Oh, just kidding, Mike. I think the person I looked up to the most and wanted to ride like the most was probably Mike Aiken.
Yeah.
I could watch him ride all day.
You didn't ride at all like Mike Aiken.
No, but I try and emulate as much as I can. But yeah, I like Kevin Porter's riding a lot too. It's nice to dream,
Yeah.
Pretend you can do that stuff.
Yeah.
But they got me the most amped up.
I saw you do a 360 turn down the other day, so.
Yeah, was it good?
It wasn't Aiken good, but I think it was clicked.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
What? Who do you want to say thanks for giving you stuff to and whatnot?
Well, let's see, Pete Demos, Kevin Connors, Rich Hirsch. As far as bike stuff, that's really awesome.
Hey, how cool was it to get a frame from Rich when
Dude.
when 14 years ago he put you on low tech or whatever, like so long
Dude,
ago?
yeah, I know. It was so awesome. He came out and supported.
Have you been talking to Rich quite a bit?
Not really. He just kind of hit me up on Instagram. He was like, "Yo, I'm coming out."
And he did.
You know how Rich does.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yo, but
That's super cool.
yeah, he was like, "I'm gonna bring you something." I'm like, "All right, cool." Brought me a frame and a bunch of giveaways for the jam. All those kids were busting out so hard too. It was awesome.
Yeah. How rewarding does it feel to host a jam like that? I mean, that's really kind of giving back type of thing.
Yeah. It wasn't really even a plan to do a jam. I was just doing a little get together,
Yeah.
And then like people started posting it on social media, and I was like, well, I might as well go hard.
Yeah.
And
No, I
just
was psyched to see so many young riders and whatnot out there. I didn't really expect it. I thought it was just kind of be the reunion of the older guys, which is cool,
Right,
and
yeah.
it kind of was. But I mean, there were 20 plus kids out there sending shit.
Vegas has a scene, and we aren't all linked up together. It's not
Yeah.
like tight like that. It's like there's the Anthem dudes, the Craig Ranch dudes. Like it'd be awesome to get everyone together more often.
I mean, where you lived, where Craig Ranch is, that's probably an hour away.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
far.
That's if you don't have a car, you don't have a crew, whatever. Especially when you have a park that good by your house.
Yeah,
You know,
but yeah, we need to mount up, guys.
it would be cool to try to do something once a month, once every other month.
Yeah,
just
for
get
sure.
I think it would be good for the scene. I think a lot of guys should do that everywhere. I mean, like there was just the Chase Hawkins did his event with Dennis Anderson and Chad Curley in San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was huge.
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome. And then like coming out here and seeing this, it's just like, oh, this stuff like this is so important.
Yeah, for sure. And Matt Clausen, he does a little jam once a year
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
in
yeah.
the ditch, and it's pretty cool turnout too there.
Is it as big of a turnout as it was the other night?
Yeah, it was about the same. Well, mine was a little bigger.
Yeah.
But no, his was cool. But every time he has his, it's either super windy or rainy, just given the day. But which kind of sucks. I'm sure it would be bigger if it wasn't.
Both times he's done it, I've been out of the country.
Yeah,
'cause I've wanted to go.
But it's super fun. Like that ditch is cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's trying to bring the kids up too.
Yeah, which
Getting
is
more
cool.
more kids psyched on the riding in Vegas.
Put
is
down the
important.
fucking iPad and pick up your bike.
Yeah, do something, man. You get a little more muscular. Chicks will dig you more.
Yeah. You're less likely to get into heroin.
Yeah. Not for me, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know.
Less likely, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's just not cool, kids. It's not. What
What is cool?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If I knew, I'd be a cool dude. No, BMX is awesome, always.
Is there anybody you were tight with back in the day that has been weird to you since coming back?
No, not at all.
That's awesome.
Everyone's been completely open arms,
Yeah.
and so psyched to see me back, and that gets me so more pumped up. So much more pumped up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, this is so fun. And I'm trying to be the one getting everyone out. Like, come on, let's go ride. But then sometimes they gotta drag me out because I'm like old and sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with the summer in Vegas? It's hot.
You gotta wait till night or
Yeah.
go early morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just tough it out and go if you're having enough fun. The heat ain't shit.
Bring a lot of water and be ready to party.
Yeah, definitely a lot of water.
All right, you ready to wrap this thing up?
Yep.
Anything else you want to get off your chest?
Name your favorite bike rider.
Chris Doyle.
Oh, fuck. I should have said that one.
Nah.
He's dope.
It's a Square One team, Aiken and
Square
Doyle.
One team. Fuck. That video. So good.
Yes.
All right, Kyle, dude. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
And thanks for pushing me out there on Vital. You're the shit.
Well, now if you do heroin again, I'm going to look bad. Final question. Of all the drugs, what's the best drug?
Getting high on life.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop this.
Bye, everybody.
All right, that does it. Thank you for listening. Follow Ryan Mills on Instagram at deadender23 and stay away from pain pills. And just remember, it doesn't count if you don't pull the rollback. See ya.